Hello and welcome everyone. So in today's video, we are going to learn a lot about algorithmic trading, and I have one of the foremost experts in algorithmic trading in the world, Dr. Nick Firoozye with me. So Dr. Nick is a distinguished mathematician with over 20 years of experience in the financial industry. He specializes in quantitative as well as relative value strategies, structuring, and trading across different instruments like fixed incomes, mortgages, emerging markets, derivatives, etc. Nick has worked as some of the leading firms like Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, Citadel, and so many more. Right now, he works as a managing director at a mid-frequency trading, Chicago-based proprietary firm. Nick also serves as a faculty at some of the leading universities in the world, and the algorithmic trading course that he teaches for WBS has also been offered as a course at University College of London and at various leading platforms. So, Nick, why don't you introduce yourself and we can begin with this Q&A session?
Hi, thank you very much, Sonam. So as Sonam was saying, I have long history in the finance industry, having been a mathematician, finally at University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. More recently, so I've been in finance for about 20 years, but over the past, since 2012, I've been doing purely systematic approaches to finance. So whether it's designing strategies for clients or designing prop strategies for hedge funds or for prop groups. Since 2017, I designed and taught a course in algorithmic trading strategies, which is now offered as an MSc course at UCL. This new course that we're offering, the Algorithmic Trading Certificate, is a version of that, but it's very much updated and made more practical for those who want to enter the industry.
We are so happy that as Wright Research, we are able to offer this course to people here in India. And talking about India, Nick, there's a huge interest in algorithmic trading in India, and I think there's a recent surge that is happening across the world, right? Why do you think that is happening? Is it machine learning that is driving this growth?
Well, I think machine learning is definitely driving quite a lot of the excitement. But I should take a step back, is that the industry of algorithmic trading has been around for quite some time. Many of the biggest firms that we know about were started in the 70s and 80s. For instance, Rentec, James Simon's firm, that was started in the early 80s. There are many different iterations of their approaches, but they've become increasingly algorithmic, more purely algorithmic, and then and also incorporating newer technologies as time goes on. So with the advent of new technologies, including machine learning, there's increased interest and the hope that all of these will be very impactful in the area.
And yeah, like you said, it's really old across the world, even though, in India, this industry has only grown in the last decade or so.
Yeah, I think prior to this, there were, of course, many Indian traders who have worked in American and British companies before that.
No, definitely. So, Nick, when you designed this course on algorithmic trading, what were your goals and, what did you have in mind when you designed it?
So I should say, initially when I designed the course, it was the fact that I understood that there was enough material, say purely academic, that I could, first of all, gather together and create an academic course out of. And that was many years ago. And then since teaching that for many years, realizing the tremendous demand at UCL for this master's course, where we have approximately 110 students every term, and we have to cap the numbers, but recognizing that there's this tremendous demand and there's this industry that's underserved. Really, they managed to get their talent and train them on the job. But the fact is, we could just change the course slightly to make it more practical, to make it more focused on the skills that are necessary to enter the industry.
And it's such a wide area as well, right? There are so many aspects of algo trading.
The industry is quite broad. There are a number of different approaches to algo trading, whether it's trading factors, which you see at some of the largest funds, the AQRs and the BlackRocks of the world, trading to forecasting and trading mid-frequency, which you see in a lot of prop shops, statistical arbitrage, or high-frequency trading. All of those things we want to touch on in our course so that everyone knows the lay of the land.
So, what do you think, Nick, are the most valuable elements of this course? And, how will you sort of talk about them to the aspiring algo traders?
Well, I think the most valuable elements is, first of all, getting a direct experience in the design of an algorithm, in how features work and what features are very commonly used, and some of the most rewarding in various different contexts. And in our course, one of the main aspects is working on a project of designing and understanding the performance and explaining this as one would to a pitch to a boss boss, to an investor, to anyone like that. And that's one of the goals of the course, is being able to do exactly that.
Right. And I think, like you said, the practical element of it is also something that's very important, right?
So as a consequence, we expect a fair amount of background knowledge when it comes to things like the programming skills. Most everyone should know Python. It's an added bonus if you know another language, a lower level language. But we expect that, and we expect a good deal of knowledge of what one would have from a STEM background typically.
Right. And, getting started on a practical thing is so important, right? And I think that's why people learn it so strongly when working at a job, right?
Yeah, definitely. So as it is, we can get people up the curve very, very quickly by going through and explaining all the different steps towards designing an algorithm from beginning to end, from data to decisions. And, many firms have slightly different approaches, or many people have slightly different approaches, but knowing all the steps and all the shortcuts is also a very important matter.
I think it's extremely important, and getting somebody started and getting them confident in building an algorithm. So, you said that people need a beginner's knowledge of Python to start, and maybe some other skill sets. So what skill set do you think people would have acquired, or what knowledge they would have acquired after they completed this course?
So after they've completed the course, they will know the basics of how to create an algorithm, how to research and design their own methodology, how to backtest an algorithm, how to analyze the performance and to potentially optimize the performance of their algorithms, and how to explain exactly how it works to outside people who want to invest in it.
That is amazing, right? And so many people are actually looking to do that, right, in different fashions.
Right.
So do you guys cover like all sorts of algorithms, for example, high frequency, mid frequency, etc.? Or
so we focus primarily on mid frequency and lower frequency. The high frequency, we discuss some important algorithms for automated execution and automated market making. But high frequency has quite a different and so we do touch on them and explain sort of the important ones, to the foundational algorithms.
Right. And do you think people need some knowledge of finance before they begin this course, or they can grasp that as it goes?
So I'd like to say that that there's the bodies of knowledge that one should have or be familiar with. I think it's more important to be familiar with either statistics, econometrics, or machine learning or signal processing. That's all one body of knowledge. And then coding, so Python coding. And then I'd say that finance is having financial intuition is a good thing, but it's something that we can pick up along the way.
Right. No, that's correct. Perfect. And see, the field is also evolving a lot, right? So do you guys touch upon, let's say, the more recent sort of things that are happening in the industry? How AI is coming in, or how LLMs can be utilized, etc.
We do. So one of the things that's not apparent to outsiders is that a lot of these things are only beginning to be impactful in the industry. So there's quite a lot of academic research on them, and yes, there are people who are introducing LLMs or other AI into algorithmic trading, but oftentimes their impact so far has been limited, primarily because LLMs are so AI is so flexible that as a consequence it could be dangerous.
Right.
So there's a lot of effectively it's much more AI with guardrails.
Yeah. So I think now when you see a lot of recent graduates who are trying to get into this field, you would see a lot of LLM and all that on the CVs, right? Which were not there a few years back.
I think this is an important area because there's things like analyzing sentiment. That's obviously important. Again, it's a limited area when it comes to the actual algorithmic decision making. But I think it's in being able to handle large data sets, being able to process efficiently and quickly, I think is an important thing.
No, definitely. And I think, I think there would be use of these technologies in the future. But yeah, like in the algorithmic trading space, like you said, statistics and those aspects, econometrics, knowing that gives you a better edge, right?
It does. And I'd say that you cannot afford to ignore machine learning because I think it is an exciting area. And really when it comes down to it, machine learning applied to algorithmic trading offers some really unique challenges because we work in a low signal to noise ratio environment that's highly non-stationary, and it's not finding the parallels in other applications of AI is not quite so straightforward.
No, definitely. Yeah. It's a complex field. So do you get a lot of students wanting to talk more and more about AI instead of the usual concepts?
No, absolutely, absolutely. But we emphasize that you have to know the basics, and then you have to know how you can take the basics and AI them.
Right, right. Understood. So, Nick, what do you think will be the most valuable skills that somebody in the algorithmic trading field would need in the future?
So, being a mathematician, I would like to say it's math and statistics. I'm afraid that oftentimes it's coding, and being a very good coder with a deep knowledge of these areas, and a respect for the sciences. But I say being a very good coder, being aware of the changes and innovations in statistics and machine learning, and being able to pivot and apply them as need be. I think that's the important matter.
Yeah, no, I think right now what I can see is, like you said, being a great coder is important, but now, ChatGPT can make you a good coder, right? That's one of
Absolutely, and this is something that, since it's only happened over the past few months, I'd say that it's really taken off. I'd like to emphasize we do talk about using ChatGPT or Claude AI as ways of enhancing your own abilities to implement algorithms.
right.
At the same
Yeah.
time, they're not. I'm going to say they're not flawless, and
Mhm.
and you have to know which direction you're headed. That's where the expert opinion is. It's you can't just ask it to implement an algorithm. You have to tell it very specifically what to do, and then you have to debug it in case it does the wrong thing.
Right. Yeah, but like these tools are getting powerful for sure, right? Like they are powerful tools for you to be a better coder,
Oh yeah,
right?
and I use them every day.
Yeah, even I use them every day. All right. So, Nick, why don't you walk us through the structure of the course in terms of the time commitment that is needed, the weekly assignments, and access to support from the faculty?
So the course is a relatively lengthy course. It's approximately, I think we had 22 hours of pre-recorded material, as well as 2 hourly meetings a week. That one for each for different time zones, but students are welcome to attend or watch both, because they're both recorded. And where you have one-on-one access, or no, not one-on-one, we have access to both myself and Brian, the two instructors for the course. So the course is over the course of 12 weeks, and it's effectively it's split. We split it into it starts out relatively easily with an introduction and an industry overview, explaining the lay of the land when it comes to the industry and how the areas of growth and things like that. And then we dive right in to talk about data sources, the design of features, how feature engineering works, and where that's where I say some sort of financial knowledge really comes in. And we talk about the data sources for each individual important sector. Then we move on to talking about the background of statistics and time series statistics in particular, and the sort of background knowledge that one needs to know. Week 4, we move on to machine learning. Again, background knowledge that one needs to know for how to approach the course, or how to approach the algorithmic trading in general. In week 5, we move into not just the design, but also the behavior of specific types of features. And one of the most important features is trend following. So the momentum features and trend following strategies. They can be either a feature or a strategy in and of itself. And the trend following strategies are underpinned a very large segment of the industry when it comes to all CTAs. A lot of the quant funds just have trend strategies. So we talk about why that might be, how they work, what their behavior is, what's the design of a good one, what's the design of a poor one, and how they act under different circumstances. But as well, with the idea that it's either designing a strategy or adding as a feature to your model. Because if you're a mid-frequency future trader, you don't design strategies, you add trend features or mean reversion features to your model. The next one we talk about carry and volatility features, or carry and volatility strategies as well. So because carry is basically a factor which underlies, I'd say, the entire pension fund industry. And that's why pension funds love trends, because it helps them diversify their carry exposure. But carry is also an important feature when it comes to say lower frequency strategies. If you're holding overnight or longer, that's also an important feature to consider. We talk about volatility strategies, short gamma strategies in particular. We use short gamma and long vega, both of them. Then week 7, we move to mean reversion. and mean reversion strategies, how they work. Mean reversion is basically the underlying pattern in all pairs trading, which is, of course, a very important thing in statistical arbitrage, but also in all relative value trading. So we talk about the persistence of mean reversion, where it comes in, and how it works, and co-integration in general. Then we move to sort of an overview of the entirety on week 8. It's features, factors, and forecasts, how you combine all these together to create forecasting models. Week 9, we move to high frequency trading, so it's order execution and market making. In week 10, we then move to how you take forecasts and create allocations based on them. So there are many different methods for this, but we want to talk about the most common, and basically everyone should have to know in some form or another, mean variance optimization. And other sorts of portfolio optimization. So some people will use it on a regular basis. Some people will just be inspired by it, but consider their allocation, taking all these things into account. Finally, week 11, we work on backtesting, how you design backtesting frameworks, how you analyze performance, why you would want to backtest, what you want to get out of it, and how you would potentially optimize for performance. And then week 12, an external system is risk management. It's very important to have risk management underlying everything. You want to handle it yourself before the risk manager taps you on the shoulder.
And throughout these weeks, people also get assignments and practicals.
People get assignments, people get readings, people get discussion of areas to consider. There's a lot of reading material that we because we think of this as the sort of the first course in a lifetime of learning in these areas. So in week 12, we give everyone the final assignment, which is to design their own algorithmic trading strategy. And it doesn't mean giving away the keys to the car, it doesn't mean showing your absolute best, but also to explain, rationalize, to explain the design, the choice of features, how it works, under which circumstances it works. And I'd say some students have done things that I could say could easily be published as working papers in these areas, because there's a lot of emphasis on how to make good designs, how to analyze good designs, and then as a basis for tweaking this and improving them for the future.
Well, that is so amazing. And in fact, the course structure that you told right, this is a 3-month structure, and I was thinking that maybe in the first 2-3 years of my career in algo trading, I picked up these concepts as it goes, but you've sort of compressed them into a 3-month course, and it should be so valuable for people starting right now, right? That they get to grasp all these concepts in such a short course. So extremely valuable how you've designed it, for sure.
I think it's I recognize that so many of these things I'd seen for years and years, just never in one place. But these are the things that everyone should know about before entering this industry.
No, 100%. And, people might know one aspect of it, but not understand, the whole set of things that you're talking about. And, I think it's extremely valuable, and I think very succinct how you have sort of designed this course, for sure. So finally, if you could just share what excites you about this course, and how do you think, this would develop the next set of professionals coming into the algorithmic trading space?
Well, it excites me, first of all. I love teaching. And I really enjoy these sort of sharing the knowledge that I've acquired over a long period of time. And it excites me working with students. Oftentimes, there's a range of students, from those who are just out of university to those who are seasoned professionals. And many people bring their expertise to bear on this. And we all learn something interacting with one another. I think it's been an amazing course over the past year, just working on this specific version of it. And I think that it's particularly exciting because I think everyone has gained from these ongoing interactions. Whether juniors listening to senior people talk, and senior people, of course, myself and Brian, but also other people who are involved in the course. And I think you get to see that how impactful this area is, and how there's so many interesting areas to grow in the field.
No, definitely. And I imagine that if I was doing such a course, right, in the early stages of my career, I would be so excited to learn what you guys have set up. And, I think I would be a good student, right? I would be super interested in the topics that you're covering.
Oh, you can still come along.
Yeah, and now that I have a good grasp on the course structure, maybe I can talk in depth about so many people actually back here in India are interested in this field, right? They're always looking to find a structure where they can learn it in a good way with practical knowledge, right?
Right.
this should be extremely exciting for them.
Fantastic.
Amazing. So thanks a lot, Nick, for coming in. Any final thoughts for our audience?
Just wanted to emphasize that I think it's only going to grow over time. And we all know that. That's part of the reason why we're all excited about this and why we see how impactful machine learning has been in so many other areas. It's very clear it's going to have even more impact in this area. As time goes on, not to say there's no point in discretionary trading, there is. And sometimes the algorithms can enhance the ability of discretionary traders, but we're going to focus on the purely algorithmic for now. And I think there's a lot to be gained from that. And I think people, whether one winds up directly involved in algorithmic trading or in any quant-related field in finance, one could gain a lot from this course.
Right, and you guys are covering different aspects of it, right? For example, somebody could do like a whole course in statistical arbitrage or factor investing, and you guys are giving them insights in all of it.
We wanted to also point out that because we're aware that there are experts in statistical arbitrage, they're experts in factor investing, and some of whom I know and actually even worked with. So I want to give a lot of background reading and suggestions that if you want to pursue this area, these are some very good reference materials in it, and this is the type of field, this is the type of background knowledge that one would need to continue in this area.
So this is super insightful, Nick. I think somebody like me who's super interested in this field and deeply passionate about it, I think this course sounds amazing. And kudos for you for designing this.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for talking to our audience about it.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Sonam.
And I hope many people in the audience sort of roll up for this course, and this is useful for the next set of algo traders coming out here in India, right?
Right. I certainly hope so, because I know India's a huge market. I know there are many talented people with STEM backgrounds who it's appropriate for.
Yeah. And there's no such course, right? To be very honest, there's no such course that you find here in India. So
right.
This would be an amazing thing for people to learn for sure.
Actually, just tell you this, there aren't that many courses in academia about this either, which I find surprising. Right. So the only ones that have even come close, they're at, I think, University of Illinois or Urbana-Champaign. They have you can do a specialization in high frequency trading. I don't know the exact structure, but it sounds appropriate. It's very close to Chicago. So in Chicago, where a lot of the high frequency trading shops are from, I believe it's slightly more computer engineering focused. And I think in University of Washington, they had an algo trading module, but it isn't offered very regularly. That's really about it. I think it as an area, it's just I'd be excited for other schools to start teaching this, because I think there's so many people come to the industry that don't know, they're not experienced, and it takes them a while to get up and running. And just having some background knowledge, I think, is very useful.
Definitely, it's super useful, and especially let's say somebody is hiring, and you find a candidate who already has done this. It's so useful, right? You would be highly interested in that candidate, right? It was super insightful, Nick. Thanks a lot for joining us. And
great. Well, thanks very much, Sonam.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.